If your brand is already doing multiple 7 figures a year or even 8 figures a year, there's only one logical next step you can do. It is to expand to marketplaces like Amazon, Walmart, and so on. And it is because people are already searching your brand and the demand behind your product itself is huge. If 5,000 people are searching for your brand on Amazon, around 60 to 100,000 people are searching after the product without your brand name. But the question is here, what you will learn today. It's like how to build ad structures that scale and why more ad spend is not better. This is not a beginner thing. I will not talk about like, hey, this is where you click or this is what you do. No, we're talking about your pro stuff that you can actually implement as a multiple 7 or 8 figure brand. My goal today is not to create another video which is like super amateur friendly and for newbies. No, I'm talking here to the founders that run big D2C brands and then want to scale on Amazon. That's why you learn today how to build ad structures that scale and you can run them however you want and why more ad spend is not better. As a performance marketer, you probably get used to it that more spend is more money, but on Amazon, it's not that. Your goal is to have the highest organic ranking as possible. But more to that in a second. Who am I to talk about this? My name is Victor Uhl. I run a small exclusive agency and I love and breathe Amazon. I do it since 2017 and to be honest, I like to say we scale brands to Valhalla or to the moon or whatever you want to call it. We just scale them through the roof. It doesn't matter what you want to call it. We just scale them really hard. We work with brands like Peak Footwear, Goda, Zefta, Raya, Media Evolution, Solacount, JBS, and a bunch of more. All insights that you get are from 6 figure days on Amazon. There's really no fluff and it's direct insights. So let's dive into it. I just want to cover for whom it is because it's not for everybody. If you're already selling on Amazon and want to scale, this is perfect for you. If you're not there, you can still watch the video and use all the insights you get to really launch directly with the highest boost. But I recommend that you're doing already 7 or 8 figures as a D2C brand because otherwise you probably can't afford all the stock and then it doesn't make sense to launch on Amazon. And if you're dropshipping from China, that's all fine, but then this video is not for you because you have to get stock to the US or to Europe so you get the Prime label, because if a customer can decide, oh, I get the product tomorrow with Prime, or I have to wait 7 days and the price is the same or maybe even cheaper for the other product, you will not win. And to clarify this, the end goal is to have the highest amount of organic rankings and spending as little money as possible on Amazon. The problems that I see here is that D2C founders want a high ad spend and that the ad account looks like created from an agency that has no skin in the game and lets you have no clue about what they're doing. So you can take this framework, give it to your agency and your ads will go directly better. On Amazon, there's no magic AI solution. It's not about the creative. It's actually really about bidding, about the structure, how you can scale it. And if your ads don't perform, your images probably suck. They count for 70% of all the purchase decisions and all the conversion rate comes from the images. Sometimes even the main image can boost the CVR, like the conversion rate for the newbies, like by 2x. I saw this, we did it, so let's go further. And in order to prove that I know what I'm talking about, here are some proofs. This is before we started, the 5th and the 10th of March. 1.5 months later, we were at 9K days. We've already doubled the profit. Then before Prime Day, we had a 15K day with 10K profit. And this is during Prime Day. We had like 130,000 within 4 days with 80K in profit with one single product. So as I said earlier on, you want to check certain things. You want to check your organic rankings third-party tool. You don't want to search yourself. This is mostly to geo ranking. This means like when your stock is in Miami, but you're in LA, you have a different ranking than in Miami. So you want to use proper third-party tool. Examples for this are Helium 10, Seller Sonar, Data Dive. Also FBA Excel has a really good one. I'll share a link with this below because this tool is basically awesome. Just choose one. And basically what you get is like an overview. Here we have then the search volume, you will have the keywords, and here are the ranking. And then you can see like on daily how your ranking will move up and down. And based on this, you can optimize your ads because your goal is to be in the top 4 places. And I'll show an example why in a second as well. And if you realize that you can't really go up the rankings anymore, you have to get the search query performance report. It looks ugly, but it works perfectly fine. So on the left side, it shows how relevant the keyword is. Here you see the search volume per month It is not connected to this product, by the way. These are two different products. And then you have the impressions of the whole niche of the brand, how much the brand share is, the total clicks, the total click rate, the brand clicks, and so on and so on. And you can really see a funnel on the keyword level, how you perform. And since this is super hard to read and you get so much data from that, there is a tool that is called FBA Excel, and it looks like this here, and it gives you a proper market overview. But here comes the problem. If you have a big brand, you have a lot of search volume, and suddenly your CTR, your add to cart rate, everything looks way better than it is. Because as you see it here, your conversion rate, your CTR, these are all branded keywords, they look perfectly fine. You can even compare it with the ACOS, you can compare it with the ad spend, and so on and so on. But here is, for example, a generic keyword. We have a super high ad spend, we have a super high ACOS, but I'm still willing to spend more. And I tell you in a second why. So this is what you need. Like, you go from this ugly overview to a little bit more broad overview, and then you look on the keyword level. Why do I want to spend here more if my ACOS and my ROAS on the ads is so horrible? Because my conversion rate is by 5.6% better than the market. So my conversion rate on this keyword is 15%. The market's is an average 10%. This means when I go up the rankings, I will stay there. This is pretty simple, so I can spend as much money as possible, because the goal is not here to be profitable on the ads. Of course, you don't want to be like super negative, but sometimes it can be a really good investment. So you have to understand when to invest and when you're just burning money. With this beautiful overview, you can figure it out. And from there, we will start building our ads that scale. These are the fundamentals that you have to master first before you go to the next step. And my expectation for that is pretty simple. You want to have a better conversion rate than the market, and your product shouldn't be shit. Because if you get a lot of complaints, if you get a lot of returns, even on legit products, sometimes Amazon will create a compliance problem, and then you have to submit different documents. It's super annoying, so ensure that your product is good, ensure that the conversion rate better is than the market, and now we can start pushing. The end goal is to spend as little as possible to be at the top. And I'll show you on the flywheel in a second. Actually, you can be profitable on Amazon from day one. Don't trust the people that say you can't be. It is possible. We did it. Track your profits daily for that. You saw the screenshots at the beginning. It's from a tool Sellerboard. I'll put a link down below so you don't have to search for it. There are exceptions like supplement brands. Supplements brands will never be profitable on day one because the CPCs are stupidly high. They are high like $9 or even higher. So just forget being there profitable on the first purchase. But you can add something called subscribe and save, and people will automatically reorder it after 2 or 3 months without you even running any new ads. We start here with a very simple first step. It's about more ad sales. If you have more ad sales, you get better organic ranking. If you have a better organic ranking, you have more sales. If you have more sales, you have more profit. More profit can be invested in more ad sales. So this is our first flywheel. With more profit, you can also optimize your listing. It includes everything from CVR, CTR, SEO, and so on. With this here, you get more profit. With more profit, guess what? You can invest more into ads. With more ads, you get more sales, and this leads you to more profit again. It's a very simple flywheel, but you have to understand once you start the flywheel, and you get better organic ranking, and then you start more tests and optimize more, you suddenly get a better conversion rate, better CTR, and so on. It is the same thing that you do with your D2C brand, but most people just forget about that. And now we come to the fun part, the ad structure, but if you don't understand these fundamentals, you don't have a clue why the next steps will work. So there are some rules. If you want to create ads that scale, you have to use proper naming. For that, I recommend using the goal first, like goal, rank, shield. In a second, you understand it. So we will call it rank, then SP, then the match type. So for example, phrase. Actually, we never have phrase as a rank campaign, so it's discovery in this case. Then the product, so toothbrush, because this will be my example. And then the single keyword if needed, or other specific like Halo campaign, or the keyword like toothbrush, and so on and so on. Then you have to understand the placements. And for that, let me switch to Amazon in a second. You have to leverage bid types And only then you can scale efficiently. You still have to watch for modifiers in the placements. So your first goal is to understand the placements on Amazon. And as you can see here on Amazon, on the top you have an ad. This here is a sponsored brands video. It can be also a static ad. It doesn't really matter. It's on top all the time. Then you have 4 to 5 places, in this case 5 places with sponsored products. These are called top of search. They're the most expensive. Then you have 5 places in organic search. Sometimes there are 4, sometimes also with the sponsored one, it can be less places. Then it really depends on what device you're searching. Like on mobile, it's typically only 3 sponsored products at the top and then 3 to 4 organic ones. Then you have customers frequently viewed, which are sponsored again. And this counts now as rest of search. These are all sponsored. And then you have more results, which are mostly sponsored as well. Here you only have 1 organic one. Then you have sponsored. Then you have organic ones and nobody searches it and nobody like scrolls down that much. So this is the big overview. And then you have a third placement. So I'll click on this one and I'm so fair that I don't click on the sponsored one. It's product placements. So here on the top, you have sponsored display. It's a different ad type. Here you have sponsored display as well. And here you now have sponsored products as a product page placement. Here you can scroll even down below and you find even more sponsored products. So you see here sponsored products, most of the stuff and just paid. That's why you have to pay on Amazon in order to get up. And of course, your goal is to be organic in the top 4. So you don't have to pay that much anymore for ads. But at the end, you need a structure that scales, that is easy to control, and that is actually very granular because we don't have CBOs on Amazon. Since you understand now placements and where you can show up, you have to understand leverage bid types. You have 3 different bid types. These are fixed bids, up and down only. With fixed bids, you bid $1.07 and you will spend $1.07. When you bid $1.07 with down only, you will spend maybe 10 cents, maybe 90 cents, maybe $1.07. And up and down, you have 100% up, 100% down. That's very easy. And now you have to watch out for modifiers because for each modifier, you can get up to 900% of leverage up bid. So if you spend, for example, $1 with 900%, you will spend $9. That's very easy. If you combine this now with up and down, you can spend up to $18. We have now the basics. Now I can show you our campaign structure. It's actually more easy than you think. And I'll only show it on sponsored products because at the end, sponsored brands is a different topic, but you can use the same logic behind this and just scale it. The same counts for sponsored display. Just as an important part, sponsored products are really bottom of the funnel. So this is where most of your ad spend will go to. They only work if you have the buy box. If you don't have it, then you don't have to worry about this. You should get rid of them first, get transparency codes and wait 1 to 2 months. Sponsored display is like top of the funnel. Sponsored brands is middle of the funnel. Sponsored brands video is bottom of the funnel again, but it doesn't really matter. So what do you see here? We categorize our campaigns in discovery, rank, profit, and sheet campaigns. And I take this here away so it doesn't cluster everything. What are discovery campaigns? Discovery campaigns are our root keywords. So when we have the keyword electric toothbrush, toothbrush would be our root keyword, or even electric toothbrush because we have electric toothbrush for kids, for adults, for this type of teeth, for that X, Y, Z, right? We want to all cover it with discovery campaign. For that, we create 4 auto campaigns because we have 4 different match types. We have loose match, we have close match, we have substitutes, and we have competitors. For the discovery campaigns, we split it into auto campaigns, broad or broad match modifier. I recommend broad match modifier and it's more than enough, phrase, and category campaigns. This can be kind of like put into brackets for the beginning because it's not really important right now. The auto campaigns we split into 4 match types, so we create 4 campaigns for the auto campaigns. It's for each of the different targets. We want to have it granular. And here we split into loose match, close match, supplements, and complementary. For the broad match modifier and phrase, we put 1 root keyword each, right? So if you have 10 root keywords, you create here 10 campaigns in the broad match modifier and 10 for the phrase. How you create broad match modifier, it's very simple. You choose broad and then you just add a plus at the beginning. Very simple. Then we create the rank campaigns. The rank campaigns are all the keywords with 1000 plus search volume. So here we have to know that it's 1 100K plus. Otherwise, we just put it into multi-keyword campaigns. The reason behind this is very simple. You don't want to have like clustering. If you have one keyword per campaign, you can target and understand the placements, because the placements are on campaign level, they are not on keyword level. And then you can add more budget or less budget depending on the performance. When you add more keywords to one campaign, you can't really understand, did keyword 1 perform better on top of search or rest of search? What is about keyword 2, keyword 3, and so on? You really just want to put like all the very exact keywords, they're very granular, into the multi-keyword campaign on the profit level, because here we don't want to go break even. Here we don't want to lose money. Here we just want to make money on the first click. And this for keywords with 100 to 1000 search volume a month. You can create as many campaigns as you want, but honestly, because you're covering here a lot of things already, and there's a single keyword campaigns and multi-keywords, that is more than enough. One really important part, when you do here the keyword research up front, you should create like a really long list with single keywords. So you take all your different search terms, put it into a tool called Cerebro, or you can do it also in Excel. You get the frequency on each word, like how often it is used, and you create like a never ever list, which is like full of bullshit words that are just not your product, and you don't want to go on that because Amazon doesn't know it mostly. And then you create a shield category. These are defense campaigns for the search page. So when you have several type of products, you also want to create a product page. A search page protection campaign is basically when somebody is typing in your keyword, like in this case, for example, Philipson, and then we have the shield or called brand defense category as well. We have search page and we have product page. For the search page, it's pretty easy. You create a phrase campaign and then you add your brand name to this, and that's it. You're protected already. You will get very small ACOS used down only here, and you will also have a product page. Protecting your product page is only relevant if you're having several products. Then you want to target all your other products just to ensure that no competitor has the space, because you saw how many advertising placements there are and you want to just have your own products there. One little tip that I can add is like add your main competitor in a separate rank campaign as well, right? So you can target all the time keywords and products. And even if you target products, it doesn't mean you're only shown on product pages. It's like just product intent based keyword targeting. It's complicated as fuck, but basically when you target a product or a keyword, you can be shown on the same in a different campaign. And now it gets super hard to track everything because Amazon worked on a last click attribution with a 14 days conversion window. So it means like when I click first on a discovery campaign and then I click on a rank campaign, all my sales and everything is attributed to the rank campaign, which makes it super hard to optimize. That's why we optimize on organic ranking. Of course, if a campaign is bleeding super strong, then you just turn it off. But mostly you will see it in the BSR and also in your net profit if it makes sense to run certain campaigns. Afterwards, of course, you want to optimize. And here I start using ad tactics from FBA Excel as well. I'm not doing right now here a tutorial on how to do this because otherwise this video would have like probably 5 hours. There will be another video about this here. There will be another video about how we use it internally. There's also a beautiful channel from the founder itself. He has like 20 hours of video material there, and he goes over every little thing you can do. And this is like the little hack. In this table, you can later see like how it performs on product search, top of search, rest of search, Amazon business, you call it. Then how the ACOS is on each placement, how it's per campaign type is the exact single keyword, multi-keyword campaigns. This really shows you like where you should like optimize, where all the money goes into, and so on and so on. And also, of course, where the orders are coming from. Your goal is to have as much money as possible as we have here in the single keyword exact campaigns, because this is where you have the most amount of control about everything, about top of search, product search, and so on. So this is your end. And once you understand how to do everything, you can go to the next step, because you will now do it from the beginning again. You have to track profits. You should get FBA Excel. Honestly, it's the best tool out there. Download the SQPR report, analyze your brand, see what performs and what not. Find conversion rate and CTR bottlenecks, optimize that. There's a video for that as well here. You have to restructure your ads, expand ad types, optimize your ads. So then you start at 3 again, download the SQPR report, analyze your brand, and go on and go on. I would recommend doing it on a monthly, because in comparison to Meta, Amazon is not a place where you create demand, it's a place where you capture demand. And it's a huge, huge difference. If you don't want to do this all on your own because it's a lot, if you don't want to run your ads, if you don't want to optimize conversion rate, if you don't want to do this quarterly planning and finding bottlenecks, do yourself a favor, click on the link below and book a call. This is explicitly for 7 and 8 figure brands who are starting on Amazon or who are already there and just want to scale. You should book a call even if you're partnered up currently with an agency or have an in-house team, because worst case, guess what? You get a blueprint with all the things that you or the agency have to fix in order to scale your brand. So see you soon and see you in the next video with more value.